Well, people, it's the big day. Somewhere out there in the United States, the Democrats are wringing their hands, thinking that this could be the way. They have three different options to frame a special election in Tennessee. If they lose, it's going to win. If they lose in a little bit, it's going to win. If they win, it's going to win. And yet, it's all going to amount to nothing. This is a big one, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I'm going to walk you through everything that you're going to see today, the propaganda and the reality, because it is my job as your guide on this freedom quest. Let's get it. I'm not going to bury the lead. We're going to jump right in. You can, of course, follow me on X at Braden LOA if you are so inclined. Let's jump right into this. So, the big special election in Tennessee. Everybody's making it bigger than it is because it is. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, that's what it is. This is the last special election that's going to happen before the midterms. It's the big bellwether. It's everything and anything to anybody who cares. Except it's not really... Anyway, we're going to get to it in a second. I'm going to show you a clip of the CNN coverage that's popping off right now. The election is tonight. This is what they're saying on CNN, and it might sound very familiar to you if you've been watching this channel for the last week to week and a half, because we were a week in front of CNN on this one. Just saying, watch this.
Polls now open for Tennessee's 7th congressional district, the election that is such a special election. You've got political heavyweights coming in town from all across the country. It is typically a very deep red congressional district that is up for grabs. President Trump, for example, carried it by 22 points last year. But Democratic leaders have a real chance here. They are rallying around Afton Bain, who has turned her messaging to affordability and the skyrocketing cost of living. The race is close, so close that House Speaker Mike Johnson has been on the ground campaigning with the Republican candidate Matt Van Epps, and the president chimed in by phone. CNN Washington Bureau Chief David Chalian is breaking.
All right, hold on, David. We got to have a conversation before you get in here and honestly just get real squeaky. All right, everything that you're seeing is all made about something bigger than this district. Just so you know, we're going to go big for this for a second. CNN is putting all the emphasis on this. It's about the affordability testing of the message. It's about the testing of the Democratic brand. Can it go far left, progressive? Can it go moderate, Democrat? The wars and the conflagrations inside the DNC all mixed in with a little bit of a fight against the Republicans in the special district in Tennessee. Mike Johnson's getting involved. President Trump phones it in. Yeah, we're going to cover that in a second. And then the Democrats are, of course, using this thing as a petri dish. Congratulations, special district in Tennessee. They don't care about the outcome. I'm going to show you in a second. They only care about using you as testing for their messaging going forward. That's this whole thing. Okay? Now, let's get over to this guy. Again, I want you to pay special attention to the reinforcement of what we talked about on this channel together. You and I, you guys were on this before anyone else was. 3 weeks ago, we talked about affordability being the main thing the left was going to hit. Then we had blowout Black Friday sales. Then we had lowest gas prices in, I think, 4 or 5 years. Then we had a lot of other economic indicators of growth. But again, they're messaging around affordability. Watch. This is everything.
Down what you should be watching in Tennessee today.
Sarah, as you noted, just over a year ago, Donald Trump won this district in Tennessee by 22 points. So why are we even talking about this? How could this be competitive? Well, the reason both parties are spending millions of dollars on this race is because today's political climate and in an off-year special election can produce a very different electorate. And this is what we've seen throughout 2025.
Okay, I want to address this for you guys directly. It can produce a very different electorate. Let me translate that out for you. It can change people's setup and political posture because it's a midterm election. And what does he mean by that? What he means by that is the Republicans are in a place of complacency. They are, objectively, I'll tell you. Not you guys. I know you guys care deeply, and that has not changed. That resolve has only doubled, if not tripled, because my audience is awesome, and I know you guys. But what they're talking about is the complacency of being in power in the House, the White House, and the Senate, which is very, very tempting to do. Democrats do it all the time. Republicans do it all the time. When you have power, why complain and change anything? But when you're on the other side, and you're backed against the wall and you feel your feet slipping off the proverbial political cliff and you're losing everything and anything, you have a much higher ability to motivate people to get out and vote. That's why our system goes like this. Okay? That's why the pendulum happens. Because when the losing team is losing, they get motivated and they get active and open. When the Republican team is, or excuse me, when the winning team is winning, they get a little more complacent because the population has spoken and they obviously agree with us. It literally has gone back and forth for 20 years at this point of that exact same model. That's why I say on this channel all the time, you've won, you have the power, it is now time to start working. It's not time to start working when your feet are at the fire and Joe Biden has complete control. They're taking your gun rights. They're opening the borders. They're mandating all of these unconstitutional actions. The time is to start to fight then, but you finish and win the gains in the fight after you've won that first political fight in the election. That's why I do that all the time. It's one thing to fight while your back's against the wall. It's another thing to take back yardage that the other team took. That's why I cover the things that I cover. It's incredibly important. But that's what he means by produces a different electorate. They are trying to gauge and use as a testing petri dish what's going to work in the House midterms, because the Democrats absolutely must take the House back from the Republicans. If they do not, they are finished as a party. It really is that dire. Let's continue.
Not just in New York City, but in special House elections like this one that took place in deep red territory, Democrats are significantly overperforming how Kamala Harris performed in these districts just a year ago.
There it is again.
And that's in large part due to opposition to Donald Trump. So Democrats are hoping to ride that wave of enthusiasm and energy in these off-year, off-cycle elections in order to produce upsets. Now, if the Democrat Afton Bain were to win here, it would be a political earthquake.
That's true.
So this is still a very tough climb for Democrats. But even if...
All right. Listen, I pride myself on telling you guys the things and the minutia that matter and make the end result exactly where it is. What he's doing right now, and I'm going to go big screen for this, and you have to understand. He sets up the importance of how big of a deal this is for Petri dish, for the testing, for everything going forward to the midterms, why all heavy hitters are coming in from the right and from the left. Then, as he's about to go into the numbers, he goes, now, let's be real clear. If the Democrat were to win, it would be a political earthquake. So they're still having an uphill climb. That's building in cover. So when you do this, you set up how important it is. You set up all the stakes. You set up all the emotional investment. But then you also set up a cushion for the Democrat for when they lose, which is almost a certainty, to say, but it's an uphill climb. We saw it coming. Which brings me to the entire point of the short I did this morning and the video now. If the Democrats lose by a huge, massive, large margin, it's, oh, well, they were supposed to lose, and this whole thing was a testing exercise, and now we know what direction not to go in, and we're going to refine our message to go into the midterm in the House and take back it from the Donald Trump Republican, and then we're going to go after Donald Trump and his lawlessness. That's one option. That's door A. Door B. Well, it was underneath 10 points, and it should have been plus 22. So we're actually winning, and our message is resonating. So we didn't have the right candidate. Maybe they're a little too far left progressive, but we did gain back 12 points from Donald Trump from a previous election last year. So either way, that's a massive win. And then the ultimate thing, if they happen to pull off an upset, which is highly unlikely, not impossible, but unlikely, then it's going to be, this is a repudiation of Donald Trump. Everybody hates him. We might as well go home and eat dirt. That is literally where you're going to go. They have attempted to put themselves in a position where they are going to have no losses no matter what happens. It's a win either way, shape, or form. This is the political calculus. This is the political flowchart, and I am just here to show you what's happening and give you the background of what they're not telling you. Because I like you guys, and I don't like when they lie to you. But anyway, that's what I've got for you guys. Make sure you tune in throughout the day. We're going to cover this ad nauseum, and I will see you on the live stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Braden. Later.